guys. Since we didn't have a blog last week, what I'm going to do today is we're just going to kind of have a blog and a half, so it's going to be like an extended version of a regular blog. And as such, I'm going to jump right into it. Now, as I've mentioned a lot in previous blogs, we don't see a whole lot of intense study of the science of success in public school and just education in general. And of the reading, writing, arithmetic that we do learn, a lot of that actually just, it enters one ear and exits promptly through the other. But this blog today isn't actually a roast on the public education system, as so many have been in the past. We're going to be looking more at kind of planting some life-changing seeds into your own head. So I'm going to need you to focus a lot on this one. Multitasking, the idea, is a mythical concept. Would you agree? Basically, the human mind has about 7 channels of thought, or something like that. And so what we usually think by that is that we can perform 7 different actions at once. Well, that's just not true. What we're doing when we actually think that we're multitasking is we're doing one of 2 things. We're either breaking our attention very quickly between several different things to make it look like we're multitasking, like we're doing it simultaneously, or we're actually performing kind of the subconscious portion of the action for several different things at once. Because the only things that you can truly multitask are those things that no longer require the mind's influence, because you've either done it so much, like walking, that you don't even have to think about it anymore. Your body just does it because you've done it so many times. Or your body just naturally just does it because it's an involuntary movement, like breathing. You'll just breathe even if you're not thinking about breathing. But those are the only types of actions that can actually be multitasked, because your mind is not influencing the actual action. Now, my eyes have traced a sentence in a book dozens of times before actually reading it, because there is something else that is actually occupying my mind at that time. Something else has its focus. Now, what happens when I do finally read that sentence is that whatever was distracting me before, now in my head, is no longer being influenced by my mind. So I could be watching some sort of YouTube video, but if I'm actually reading, I'm no longer actually comprehending what's going on in the video. I'm only comprehending what's going on here. I can still hear what's going on, but I'm not actually understanding it. What this boils down to is that in order to actually be the most effective in your actions and get the most out of your moments every day, you actually have to be focused on what it is that you're trying to do. I'll give you an example. When we go to a movie theater and we pay to see a movie, when we walk into the theater and everything goes dark and the movie starts, that's where we are living right then. We're no longer living in the past, and we're no longer living in the future. We're living in the right now. We're experiencing everything, and our total focus is right now. But often what we find is that the moment we leave the theater, that focus is gone. We're no longer focused on what's actually happening in the present. We start thinking about what's going on in the future, what we're going to do later, whether we're going to have the money to pay the bills, just junk like that. We stop living in the present because nothing is holding our focus anymore. And if we think about this concept of focus long enough, what we tend to realize is that the only power that we have, the only time that we can exert any influence on the earth is right now. The present that we're currently in. We can't do anything in the past and we can't do anything in the future. We can only affect right now. And in fact, you're living right now watching this video. Are you actually focused on what's going on, or are you thinking about something else? So we've identified a pretty nasty problem that everybody faces. At one point or another, we all face it. So let's fix that as much as we possibly can. Be as focused as we can, as much as we can, to be as effective and most satisfied as possible. And what we usually jump to then, as a means of accomplishing that, is to set a goal. Now, in the broad realm of this concept of focus, goals are incredibly important. They provide that direction to the actions that we take every day that will lead us to that final desired outcome that we've decided that is our goal. What I've noticed, however, in my own life and experiences with other people, is that we tend to only define our goals by the finish line, by the outcome itself. Then when it comes to actually accomplishing those goals, we get stuck because we have no indicator telling us whether we should turn left or right, or whether we're on the right track or whether we're not. And that's when goals start to get hard. That's when we start to doubt ourselves and think, what is wrong with me? Why am I not moving? Why do I not seem to be getting anywhere? I mean, do I need to put more time into it? Think about it more, like throughout my day, just kind of like spend all my day thinking about it and think about nothing else. And it gets to the point where that goal is no longer providing you the energy to get to the final outcome, it's actually sapping you of energy, kind of leaving you without a map. So in order to regularly produce that energy that you'll need to complete that task, it is necessary to whittle those goals down to nothing but the action-based tasks that you'll complete every day. The tasks that, if done consistently and with great focus, will yield you your goal. Does that make sense? Say your final goal was to create a solid, fulfilling career for yourself after you graduate from college. What everyday actions can you whittle that huge, momentous goal down to that you can complete every single day that, if done consistently and with focus, will yield you that career? I'm going to give you an example from my business as a licensed realtor to help you figure that out. By December 2nd of 2010, my financial goals state that I need to have a net income for my business of at least $20,000. With a 30% income tax, I would have to net $30,000 before taxes, assuming I didn't have any write-offs, which I probably will, but let's be conservative here. If I take into account that my broker earns 36% of my commission, then I need to gross about $45,000. That's gross commissions, $45,000. So if I sell, on average, $100,000 homes, then I will gross about $2,700 per transaction. That means that I need to participate in a total of 17 transactions this year to reach my goal. We're now about halfway from the goal itself to the actions that will yield that goal if done consistently and with focus. To sell 17 homes, I'm probably going to have to work with at least 20 different people. Not every transaction will go through to closing, and I have to recognize that. Though it's really my job to make that happen, so this number should be as close to 17 as possible. So in order to actually work with 20 different people, I need to have a certain number of people who consider working with me to buy or sell their home. Conservatively, again, I'm going to guess that out of every 10 people that I hear are planning on buying or selling real estate, 2 of them will actually decide to do it. So that means I need to find 100 people thinking about buying or selling to find 20 who are actually going to do it. And that's where the action comes in. The only way to find people who actually need your services is to ask people if they or someone they know need them. And I've determined conservatively again that out of every 25 people or so that I ask, 1 will either need my help or know somebody who needs my help. That means that I will need to talk to a grand total of 2,500 people between now and December 2nd of 2010. You might think that's a formidable task, and it's not necessarily small. But let me ask you, which is more formidable? The idea of just creating $20,000 of net income by helping people to buy or sell their home, or to talk to 2,500 people and ask them if they need any help with that. The former is a goal that is focused completely on the end result with no defined plan on how to achieve it. The latter is that same exact goal whittled down to the actual actions that will yield the end result that the first one is too focused on. Are there other tasks that I'll need to accomplish between now and December 2nd of 2010 to actually yield that goal? Well, of course there are. Every day I need to be learning more about the market, the economic conditions. I need to be more competent. I need to be better at communicating. I need to be learning all the time so that I can provide the best service possible to my clients. But all those tasks come after the initial task of actually asking people if I can serve them. None of that stuff matters if you don't have any clients to serve. And this can be applied to any other goal that you ever make. You have to whittle it down to the very, very basic action-based tasks that will lead you gradually towards your goal. Everything else will piggyback off of those tasks. But if you're not doing those tasks every day, consistently, and with focus, you are going to get lost. You're going to get stuck, and that goal is going to start sapping you, rather than generating energy to get you where you need to go. I would love this if everybody who watched this video would send me in a message just one goal that they're trying to pursue, just one, and whittle it down to the very basic action-based tasks that they will be accomplishing consistently and with focus every single day to lead to that final desired outcome. And in a future blog, I will take that solid, fulfilling career goal and I will whittle that down to what I would consider the basic action-based tasks that you would complete every single day. Over the past few years, I've been really studying this basic fundamental key to success, and it has changed how I live. I hope that you can put it to use for yourself. See you next week.